Now I do find that I tend to buy a lot of watches, order a lot of watches all the time, and it seems to be quite funny that occasionally these orders, these purchases, all tend to arrive on exactly the same day. Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. And I just had 4 watches arrive on my doorstep, and I was excited for 4 different reasons. 2 of the watches were actually provided to me by one of the online stores on Aliexpress. That's probably why you would have seen that sponsored icon pop up there. And of course, I'm going to leave links to the watches in the description of this video to that specific store. The other one is actually purchased partly by me, but also partly by Aliexpress themselves. They gave me effectively a credit to buy any watch that I wanted, and it effectively just gave me a good discount. Again, sponsored icon because of Aliexpress's providing me that credit. And of course the link down to the store that I bought the watch myself, but it was the one that I chose, and it's one that I'm really keen to get my hands on with. But then the 4th watch, well, the 4th watch is a bit of a bonus watch in this particular video because it is my Grail watch. Nothing to do with Aliexpress, nothing to do with any specific watch manufacturer or anything. It is my watch, my Grail watch, a watch that I've had a bit of ups and downs with, but it is finally returned to me and it is finally perfect. And because it arrived on the same day, I want to show you all of these 4 watches today. So we have quite an interesting haul today because we've got one watch which I purchased using the credit from Aliexpress and then used my extra money, effectively getting a discount. I've got 2 watches, both from different brands, but from the same store on Aliexpress. Thank you very much to that store. I've actually wanted these 2 specific watches, and then a big bonus watch. And it's funny that all of these arrived today because this one here is my ultimate Grail watch, a watch that I've had some issues with over the past 12 months, but I've finally been able to get it sorted because it is now here. And I'll come back to that one. But let's first start with the 2 watches that were provided to me by this specific store. And of course, well, it is Baltany. Baltany is one of my favorite brands. I love them. I really do love them. And when I saw this specific release, I knew I was going to buy it for myself. So when this store offered to give me one, I thought, yes, please, I shall take that because this one was going to enter my collection anyway. They call this one the S4092. It is a hand wound or automatic, and I think this is the automatic version. It contains a seagull movement, the ST1701. But as you can see, it is a beautiful looking dress watch with crosshairs, with that sub-second amongst that crosshairs, with a secondary crosshairs, which I think that looks awesome with this almost silvery pearl dial. Now I will say perhaps legibility is not going to be the strong suit of this watch, but it is certainly very pretty, and it has this beautiful case with those vintage looking lugs, and I'm pretty sure this is a case that they've used in another vintage sort of reissue model that they've done recently, one that I really like the idea of, but it wasn't quite what I wanted. But this one ticks the boxes for me. It obviously does have hand wanding too, and does this seagull movement have hacking? Probably not. No, it does not. But what a beautiful looking watch. Now, if you want to buy one of these, I think they sort of retail for around about 260 Australian dollars. Now, I'm going to create some more videos about this specific one. This one is just giving you a bit of a sneak peek of what has arrived. So on to the next one, and it is from a brand that, well, I've spoken about many times, Hruodland, one of my favorite brands off Aliexpress as well. Not because I think they're quite as good as the Baltany watches, but I just like the designs that they come up with. And firstly, what I want to say is it came with this really interesting tool. That's a screwdriver, but it's one of these screwdrivers that you can have lots of little different nibs in there. So there's a whole heap of different screwdriver heads in there. So that's a nice little tool. I'll be honest, even if I don't end up keeping this watch, I'll probably end up keeping this tool. But this is their exploring style watch. I've seen a couple of different versions of this one being released with some sort of brown, sort of fading dials. This is pretty traditional, a black dial with gilt hands. But being Hruodland, I know they do a decent quality watch, and I know that generally when I do get them, I do enjoy them. So it's actually quite nice to see this one. I think this is a more traditional size. It's a 36mm. I know it contains the NH38, that Seiko no date movement. It does have a screw down crown. Obviously does have hand winding. Let's check to see whether, yes, no ghost position. So that's nice to see. Bracelet seems nice. It has one of those very roll-esque style bracelets with a on-the-fly kind of sliding adjustment. Well, let's put that one aside, and I'm going to try all these watches on, but I'll probably do that at close to the end of this video. All right, this one I am very excited about because this was one that I was definitely going to buy for myself anyway, but Aliexpress was nice enough to give me some credit towards it, and it is an IX&DAO. And if you've been watching my channel, there's a reasonable chance you'll know which model it is, because when I first saw this one released, I thought that looked absolutely brilliant. And in hand, I think it looks absolutely brilliant. This is their Blue Dragon Scale Diver. And check out their little case. It's the same sort of design as these ones that we normally get, but it's like a mini version, which is quite funny. But the reason I wanted to actually buy this one is predominantly because I just really like the look of it. That dial is super, super cool, very 3D, satin sort of finish. As far as I'm aware, this one is actually an original design. It may take some design elements from some other watches, but I've never seen that dial before. Ooh, nice bezel action, nice and crisp, no back play. Check out this bracelet. Oh, that's nice. On the fly adjustment as well. And then just look at that dragon case back. Now that is super cool. Now I have to admit I had to size this one up because I've been quite excited to get this one. Check out how it sits down onto my 17 centimeter wrist. Oh, it looks like it's even made for me. And that bracelet, very, very cool. Now I haven't actually sized the Hruodland up to me yet, but I can already say it's very, very comfortable. And just look how it sits down onto wrist too. Yeah, that's actually quite impressive. I'm actually going to say just how it sits down and how low it sits is something that really surprises me. And wow, the strap on this Baltany, what a surprise. I kind of thought it was going to be very similar to another Baltany strap that I had, but no, not at all. It's actually really, really, really well made, but it's just not the same one I expected. And well, yeah, that looks nice too. And that also fits down really nicely. Seems to be a theme of these three watches. They all seem to fit down nice on my wrist. And now I admit, these three watches are great. I really like that Baltany, that Hruodland looks cool, and that IX&DAO, well, that is something extra special, but there's another watch I want to share with you. Hello there. Sorry to interrupt the video. I understand that sometimes subscribing to channels can be a little bit annoying, or you may not think to do it, but it actually makes such a huge difference to the person making the videos like me. So I'm just asking, if you haven't done so already, would you mind just hitting on that subscribe button? Thank you very much. Now let's get back to this video. And this watch is my ultimate Grail watch. It's a watch that I've owned over a year, but there's been a few little technical issues with it in regards to the bracelet. I'm going to be making some videos about it shortly to explain all that, but I wanted to share with you in this particular video, this particular watch quickly, just because it literally landed on the same day as these three watches. It is my Mont Blanc Nicolas Roussek, and the issues have been the bracelet. I'll talk about that much more in some detailed videos about this one. This, yeah, it's turned out to be my favorite watch, my most worn watch, my Grail watch. It's been quite a surprise to me. I've now finally got it on the original bracelet, which I think really completes the look. And the only real issue now that this watch is now firmly back into my collection is that I think I'm going to be wearing this one a lot, which means any new watch that comes into my collection is probably not going to get the time that it deserves, but I'll make sure that I do. All right, guys, that's just a quick video just talking about some watches that arrived. Stay tuned to the channel to see some more details specifically about these three watches. And I think I'm actually going to make a bit of a series about this one. There's a bit more to talk about this watch other than just a review. It'd be nice to dive into the brand, the model, and then those issues that I also had. But whilst we wait for that particular video, or those series of videos, or the videos about these three watches, maybe you could check out a few of my other videos next.